Everybody, and welcome back to Betty and Leon. On today's episode, what are we going to work on? Because it's not the 808 for an episode. Are we working on this thing? Do we need more horsepower in our lives? We do, but it ain't that. What about this thing? The RX2 Coupe, gathering that ultra expensive antique barn dust. Nah, we're going to leave that sitting there too. On today's episode, we're bringing you something totally different to what we've ever done before. If you like it, throw it in the little comments. If you don't like it, throw it in the comments. But today it's a BMW 1968 R60/2 motorbike. And it's not even mine, it's Rob's. I know nothing about it. And you probably don't too, so he's going to give us a little insight into why it's a really cool bike. I like the look of it.
Am I? Okay.
So Roberto, what do you know about this motorbike?
I know it has been unregistered since 2011.
Why? Did you just give up riding motorbikes because you could? Or?
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, my dad was a BMW nut, which is where how the bike comes into play. So
Throw me some cool features, because you know what I really like? I kind of like these shock absorbers. They look like they should be on a car of 1968 or something like that.
Well, that's an Earl's Fork design. I don't know, it must have been the guy's name, I got no idea.
Yeah, fair enough. And they used to run a sidecar, right?
Yeah, these were sort of designed to have a sidecar. It's got a couple of mounts. See this ball thing down here? And there's one here.
Needs a ball mount.
There's one there, and there's another one here. And they don't appear on the other side.
So I guess that's for...
I don't know if American bikes had them on the other side, but I mean, I'm guessing they did. And maybe German bikes too for that. I got no idea.
Yeah, right. And what about, show me the steering damper thing, because I think it's just next level engineering for a bike.
You can tell we've played with them because they're clean.
Yeah, well, I can't get around it. I just think it's...
Well, yeah,
hilarious.
You loosen it up and she's nice and, nice and loose. And then you tighten it up.
For all those road racer boys, it's like the steering damper that you buy from Olin's or whoever that...
she gets a bit stiffer.
Stiffs up the front end so you don't get death wobbles at high speed.
Yeah, so, just push it out the way.
The other feature I think is pretty funny or cool is the fact that it doesn't actually have a key, does it? To start the bike.
Well, it sort of is a key. It is removable.
Oh, I did not know this.
Yeah,
oh, here we go.
It's removable.
Okay, so it's 1960 key.
That's the same from, from 1956, I think they started making these.
And how many were built?
20,000.
20,000?
Yeah,
across the world?
20,133 to be exact. Actually, I don't know, I'm just making that up. I'm just bullshitting.
Well, it sounded legit to me.
Yeah, I know. 20,000 of them made from 56 to 69. So this being a 68 is, I suppose, one of the last ones.
And what are we doing on it today, more importantly?
Well, I was thinking that we were going to try and maybe get it running. I bought a little 6-volt battery for it.
Yep.
Because it's 6 volt. And the battery is tiny, because the battery doesn't start it, of course, you got to kick it.
Kickstart, oh, show me the kickstart.
Oh, the Kickstarter's here. Kickstarter is there. So there's a few different styles of kicking that, but generally you do it while it's on the main stand.
Oh, that's right. It's got two stands, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you basically stand on here and you kick it with your left foot.
Yep.
But you
Standard.
can do other things, like if it's, you know, if it's not level ground and you can't put it on the centre stand, you've got to kick it while it's on the ground.
I feel like this second stand is kind of, you know, if you're being cool, you're using the front stand. But if you're going to a drag race, you're going to put it on the second, on this stand it's on, you know, rev it to...
A drag race?
Yeah, rev it to
Right,
$5
yes.
grand. Does it rev to $5 grand? How high does it rev?
I don't know, has it got a tacho?
No, it's just the sound of your ear is how
Yeah.
fast the engine's
Yeah.
revolving. And then you just
No,
kick
I
off
get-
that and you'd be down the track. You'd get a good 60 foot,
Oh yeah, it's all about drag racing.
I reckon.
Yeah, and burnouts, of course.
All right.
These tyres might be really good for burnouts because I'm guessing they're going to be really old and really cracked and really hard and, you know,
Well, we might find out.
yeah. Exactly.
All right. Enough talking, because we love talking. Mm-hmm. Let's get into fixing this bad unit. Roberto, what are we doing?
All right, so we're back from Super Cheap, Burson's, Autobahn, Repco, any other car place you can think of. Right, because like obviously, you know,
BMW too. 'cause,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they,
yeah,
They're
'cause
totally going to stock 1968
well, you know,
R60/2
yeah,
BMW
yeah, new
parts.
grips just on the shelf, like just unreal.
Yep.
So, only one thing we couldn't get, and that was just this little cover here for the clutch handle brakey thingy. Actually, we should change those because we've got different ones that don't have the lump on the end of them.
I know, they're cool too, aren't
Yeah,
they?
so we got to change those.
Just for the cool factor.
Yeah, so that's the only thing we didn't get. You know, like Super Cheap didn't have that in stock, which is, I don't know, it's a little bit disappointing.
Highly disappointing.
Well,
You
know,
would have thought.
we have a battery, as you can see. It's a big one.
Battery World, they hooked us up.
Yep,
They were
sure
good.
did. It was great down there, that bloke. I
Full
can't-
6 volts. But tell them a little secret why it's 6 volts and what it does. Put you on the spot.
It's 6 volts because it has 3 2-volt cells in it.
That's a great answer. And what does it run?
Well, it runs the lights and the horn.
That's it, right?
Yeah,
It
and
doesn't
maybe-
do, ignition system does nothing, right? But there's no starter motor, so it doesn't need
No,
that.
there's no starter motor, so it doesn't. No, but it might give the ignition
Just cool,
something when you're trying to start it. But I mean, after that, I'm pretty sure it's a magneto.
Yeah.
So it just runs without the battery. You'll probably disconnect it.
Okay.
And I think it's got high beam, low beam in the switches department. If we're talking about switches, high beam, low beam, horn.
But can it do a skid into next week? That's the biggest question that remains.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon if there's some oil or diesel involved, as in on the
How much
ground.
horsepower does it have? That's the question I had.
It has 30 horsepower.
30.
30 horsepower is what it's rated at.
Don't use all those horses at once.
And I mean, and if I had to guess, because back then it was pretty well flywheel. So, so that's not a wheel, that's just,
At the fly.
That's the
At
highest-
At the drive shaft, if
yeah.
you will.
Drive shaft, because
yeah,
it has a drive shaft.
Has
Yeah.
no chain, boys.
Yeah.
Who
No,
thought that was a good idea?
everybody thought that was a good idea.
Same as I'm just gonna say a little something about BMW right now. It might hurt your feelings, but
No.
maybe it won't.
Not going to hurt mine.
But the horizontally opposed,
You know.
I can't get into that.
Rightio, and this is the part of the video where we talk about the right tool for the right job, which is a shifter.
You mean a hammer?
Well, hammers come into play as well, but these are going in the bin, which is why I'm using a shifter, so that I don't have to work out what the size of the bolt is. It's probably a 14 or a 13 or a 12.
Isn't there another show that says in the bin something? I think there is.
Oh,
I heard it on the
you
grapevine.
mean
Oh, those guys.
some of these blokes? Or over there. Oh, hang on. Can you see it on that?
Oh yeah, on the top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that team.
Well, actually,
The grip now off it. There's a severe lack of whiskey throttle. It doesn't want to go anywhere. So we're thinking carbies are probably the plunger that's on those things.
Yeah, just wonder if we can undo
It's probably
them.
all jammed up the slide. So I guess we'll be pulling them apart in a second. Because the slide that's in the carby, this little part here, is actually, I guess, jammed
Yep.
inside the cylinder. So we're just trying to gently push that back out without damaging the bottom side of it. Throwing a bit of, well, there we go. Throwing a bit of something in the bottom, and it's slowly working its way out. But the last thing you want to do is damage it, because, like we said before, nobody really holds any parts with this thing. Well, that's probably a lie. Germany probably does. That is really stuck in there. I kind of think we might have to give it a little bit of a persuasion, potentially. Come on, baby. So you guys would have just seen that I pulled the carby apart, and needless to say, it actually needed properly doing. You know, the old fuel's just turned into like a dust, I suppose, and blocked up all the galleries. Main jet, you know, you can't even see through it, so that's going to work really well. And idle jet, same sort of deal. It's got lacquer inside it, and once it's got that and there's no hole in it, it's not going to work very well. So we're going to dump it in some other fuel, let it soak for a little bit, clean it up, and then put them all back together. What you looking for, man?
Throttle cable. Throttle cable?
Yeah, it's throttle cable, yep.
Well,
So we're ready to put carburetors back on, boys. Look at this, fully rebuilt. Will it work? I guess we'll find out.
let's find another
Should be
one.
fine though. So check this out, if anyone's never seen it. Throttle tube. It's got a little gear drive.
Oh, it's on the
It
seat.
spins.
The little
and
bit.
then you've got another little bevel gear with a chain and the kind of little die cast piece that pulls both the throttle cables. Pretty trick little setup actually. We're just going back over to Super Cheap Auto here and looking through their parts bin. Or is it more Rob's Auto Parts?
Oh,
Is
I don't know.
that sounds more. Oh
No,
okay.
not having much luck here.
Well, I'm going to put carbies back on with the cables that were on it because they're still fine. But we just thought if we got all the bits,
Ooh.
we may as well use them. We're going to wrap it up there for today's episode. We've got the big R60 -2, -2/2, stroke 2. See, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Nearly ready. You know, we still got to do spark plugs. We've got to drop the oil and get the other carby on the other side, but we're looking good. Bike's looking cool. It's got a lot of new pieces back on it, so it'll be a sweet ride in the next episode.
See you later, legends.
See you later, legends. Good day, legends.
Stay legends. Be legends.
Stay cool.
Something or other legends.
Legends.
I know there's something or other legend.
You don't even know. I'm never going to say it again.
Well, I just thought you're not going to say it.
I say it sometimes. I don't say it others.
Ah, okay.
That's how I roll.
All right. Legends.
Goodbye, legends. Stay cool.